I've recently partnered up with Ambutech to feature just about every single thing they offer on their website. We've got canes, we've got tips, we've got accessories. So if you're shopping around for a brand new cane, then this is going to be a great video for you. Hang on, we'll be right back. I don't know what to do with these canes. Maybe we'll just lay them right here. Hey there, my name is Sam. This is The Blind Life, where I help you learn how to live your best blind life. If you're not familiar with them, Ambutech is the world's leading manufacturer of mobility canes. In fact, they are the largest distributor of mobility canes to North America and Europe, distributing to over 80 countries. So if you are watching this video, chances are you can get an Ambutech cane. They are based out of Canada, and they're actually a small company. A lot of people are actually surprised to hear that they're a relatively small company because they are so prolific in the blind and visually impaired community. But one thing is absolutely for certain, that Ambutech's motto of a mobile way of life is something they take very seriously. And it definitely shines through in the quality of their products. But speaking of those products, today we're going to be going over the majority of the things they offer. That includes the canes, the tips. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the adaptive mobility aids that they have, some of the accessories that they offer. One thing to note though, although they focus primarily on mobility canes, they do also offer support canes or stability canes. But like I said, today we're going to focus mostly on the products for the blind and visually impaired community. And because it's what most people think of, we're going to start out with the canes. As far as cane materials, you have three different types. We have aluminum, graphite, and fiberglass. Aluminum is incredibly durable and going to be the most cost effective. Fiberglass is a nice balance of durability and flexibility. It's also going to be the thickest of all the materials. And then graphite, probably my favorite, is the lightest and the strongest. You can get the mobility canes in folding, multi-section canes, or rigid, one solid piece. Most of the canes are available in either child size or adult sizes. The child sizes go from 12 inches up to 34 inches, and the adult sizes go from 36 inches up to a whopping 72 inches. I personally hover around 56 inches. That's my sweet spot, but everybody's different. When ordering your cane, you can choose what material you want, you can choose the length, and you can even choose how many sections it has. And one thing to note is the more sections the cane has, the smaller it will fold up and the more portable it will be. Next, we have the slimline canes. These are super cool. These are going to be much thinner than your standard mobility canes. Because of this, they're not as strong, they're not as durable. In fact, I can flex these pretty easily. The slimline canes are going to be ideal for identification and light probing. The slimline canes are amazing for portability. Because they're so slim and lightweight, you can basically carry these in your pocket. Ambutech also offers this new style of cane, and this is called the no-jab cane. It's named that because there's a spring hidden in the top section where the grip is. So if you run into something, this top section compresses down so you don't jab yourself in the stomach. This has been a very popular cane for Ambutech recently, and it's because of that very unique design. And then the final type of canes you can get are telescopic canes. These are canes that they don't fold up, but each section nests into the previous section. These tend to be very lightweight, which makes them very portable. However, there are some that, like this ID cane, that only have two sections. So when completely collapsed, it's not nearly as small as the other telescopic cane. I also have this little telescopic cane, and this is a telescopic ID cane. Talk about small and portable, and that is all it is. This is a very unique style of cane for the visually impaired. It is not a mobility cane, it is simply an identification cane. It's only about 24 inches long, so it does not reach all the way to the ground. You just hold it in your hand and walk around with it. It is simply to identify you as someone with a vision impairment. All right, now let's talk about cane tips. And this is where it gets really exciting because Ambutech is one of the leading manufacturers of cane tips for the visually impaired. and they have a wide variety of different tips. The analogy I always give people is tips are like shoes, right? You probably have shoes for different occasions. You know, when you were a kid, you'd wear your nice tennis shoes to school, but then when you came home, you wanted to go outside and play. Well, you're gonna put on your dirty sneakers to go out and play because you don't want to get your nice shoes dirty. Different shoes for different situations, different tips for different situations. And the nice thing about this is these aren't expensive. A lot of these tips are under $5. These tips come in 3 basic categories. You have hook style tips, slip-on tips, and 8mm threaded tips. What's great is Ambutech offers most of their tips in all of those 3 categories. So whatever style cane you have, you're gonna be able to get some really awesome tips for it. Probably the most famous cane tip out there, the rolling marshmallow tip. This is kind of the Swiss Army knife of cane tips. It's gonna be great in a lot of different situations. It's also small and lightweight, which is gonna be great for you 2-point touch users. The fact that it rolls is gonna be great for constant contact. If durability is a concern, you can also get high mileage tips. And this is made from a special material that's gonna last 2 to 3 times longer than your normal tips. A similar tip to the marshmallow tip is the flex tip. So named because the hook, the stem on this tip flexes. Working our way up, we have the jumbo roller. Looks kind of like a flying saucer. This is gonna be great for you constant contact users because it's just gonna roll back and forth super easily. Then of course we have the Big Daddy, the workhorse of all the tips. This is the rolling ball tip. I like to think of these as kind of the all-terrain tip because they're so big, they just muscle their way over all types of obstacles. But of course, because they're big, they're gonna be a little bit heavier than your standard tip. So once again, 2-point touch users, something to consider. You're definitely gonna feel the weight at the end of the cane with the big rolling ball tip. Here is a very unique tip. This is called the Dakota disc. Whenever I take this tip to an elementary for a demonstration, the kids always say it looks like a paper plate. To me, it always reminds me of like a metal detector. This is a very specialized tip. It's gonna be great for snow. It's gonna be great for sand. It is not gonna be so good for hard material like concrete, asphalt, gravel. It's a very thin plastic on the bottom here, and that surface is just gonna tear it up. Another very popular tip is the simple pencil tip. These tips are ideal for ID canes, canes that are just used for light probing. These are not gonna be great for constant contact because they get stuck in everything. Maybe the kings of durability, you have the ceramic tip and the metal glide tip. If you need a tip that is going to last, these are the tips for you. Many people love the ceramic tip. My personal favorite though has gotta be the metal glide tip. I love the metal glide tip. In fact, I've got one on one of my favorite travel canes. Metal glide tip works great in airports, on carpet, works pretty well on concrete and asphalt. I mean, that's why it's called the glide tip, because it just glides over everything. One of the tips that Ambutech also offers is this wheel tip. It literally looks like somebody took the wheel off of a wheelbarrow and stuck it on the end of a cane. And it just rolls. It just rolls right out in front of you. And finally, one of the newest cane tips available on Ambutech. This is the Pathfinder 360 tip. It resembles a rolling ball tip, but what's awesome about this is it can roll in any direction, 360 degrees. I'm gonna do a full video about this tip in the future. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's talk about some of the adaptive equipment and some of the accessories that Ambutech offers. One of those is the push broom tip. So this is absolutely a tip. In fact, it's a hook style tip, so it fits on the end of a cane. And it resembles a push broom. On the outside, you have wheels. These are the same wheels as the rolling wheel tip, but they are on the outside axle of this broom tip. Very unique tip. A really cool accessory you can get on Ambutech is the Pharaoh's cane light. This is a little LED light that attaches to your cane, and it's like having a flashlight on your cane. I will also be doing a video in the future about this, the Pharaoh's cane light. Ambutech also offers cane holsters as accessories that you can get. They've got a wide variety of designs, so definitely check those out if you've been looking for a way to holster your cane when you're not using it. Ambutech offers a wide variety of parts for repairing your canes. This is pretty great because if something happens to your cane, something small like maybe the bungee breaks, you don't want to have to buy a whole new cane. So Ambutech offers these parts so you can do that. You can get a couple of different sizes of grips. You can get extra bungee, probably the thing that most people are going to be getting, extra bungee cord. And then one thing that I absolutely love is extra reflective tape. So if you have a cane that you've been using quite a bit and maybe banging it into a bunch of things, the bottom section of reflective tape might be getting worn away or peeling off. In most cases, it's this red section. Well, you can just apply a new piece of clean reflective tape and your cane will be like brand new. I think this is fantastic, and I think it's great that Ambutech offers it. And finally, I want to talk about customizing your cane through the Ambutech website. This is something you can do during the ordering process to add a little bit of personality to your cane. One of the first things you can do is choose the type of handle on your cane. Now, you can't do this with all the different canes, but if the one you're wanting to choose does support it, then you have a couple of options. You can do the standard grip that we're all familiar with. You can do a cork grip, a wooden grip. You can opt to have a crook-handled grip, or you can choose no grip at all. I actually have a cane that has the cork handle, and I love this handle. This is actually one of my favorite canes, mainly because of this handle. When customizing your cane, we have the normal choices that we always have. Things like cane length, if it's a folding cane, number of sections, what type of tip you want to have on your cane. But Ambutech also lets you choose cane colors. And this is really where you can express your own individual personality. If you chose the standard grip, then you can choose the grip highlight color. And they have lots of colors to choose from, very bright, vibrant colors, things like purple and pink and blue and green. Next, we can choose our main shaft color. And we have a lot of colors to choose from, reds and greens and blues and marigold. You can also choose to have extra stripes, red stripes, purple and black and pink, just a ton of options. Then you can choose the bottom section, which most people just opt to have it red, but you don't have to. You have all the same colors available for that bottom section as well. And then one more bit of customization is your tips. Many of Ambutech's tips, especially their core line of tips, things like the marshmallow tips, the large rolling ball tips, those also come in a bunch of different colors. Even the Dakota disc comes in 2 colors. So just a ton of ways to customize your cane. One thing to note about that, though, is you definitely want to check the laws and the restrictions in your area. There's no laws against changing the color of your cane. It is important to note that some of the liberties we have are based on the color of the white cane. For example, traditionally, pedestrians with a white cane have the right of way in a lot of situations. But if something were to happen, it could be argued that the person didn't recognize you as being visually impaired because you weren't carrying a white cane. Not likely, but definitely something to keep in mind. I hope you guys enjoyed that deep dive into most of the products Ambutech sells on their website. Definitely check them out, ambutech.com. That's AMBUTECH.com. Check out their website, but remember that Ambutech is sold through a ton of different distributors, and you can even find them on Amazon. A huge thank you to Ambutech for sending out all this amazing gear so that I could make this video for you. Stay tuned to the channel because I don't need all this stuff. I'm probably going to be giving it away in future talkback videos. And the best way to stay up to date with that is to subscribe and to turn on notifications. If you like the video, be sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends in the community. We want to make sure that everybody knows about Ambutech's amazing products. But that is it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, this is Sam with The Blind Life, and I will see you next week.